who are relaxed, they learn better. You know that, right? There's something I learned some time ago about dopamine and what are their names? Just those enzymes that are stimulated in your brain by reason of your emotions, right? And they say that the one that makes you happy, the one that triggers that joy in you, right? When that is triggered, there is more ability to learn than the one that triggers fear. But you know what I discover? In our schools, is that one that triggers fear that many teachers have. When I went to school, that's the one that you see one long cane and it's waiting for you and they're asking you questions and you're under pressure. You know, sometimes it's like how Google asks you to verify your account. You verify with your passport, it asks you for, send you an SMS, two-factor verification, and ask you all the questions. When was your mother born? What's your maiden name? And it's like they're pointing guns at you. So relax, it will help us learn. How many of us have heard about YALI? Young African Leaders Initiative, Mandela Washington Fellowship. Rosemary, please borrow me your computer. This has stopped working. Fine. One of them is called YALI checks. YALI checks. And you see tools about verifying. Stop, reflect, verify. There's some videos and there's a short MOOC. MOOC is massive open online course. A short MOOC on how to verify information online. yali.state.gov. You go to the courses that are the YALI courses. One of them is called YALI checks. And that will help you at least give you some basic information on fact check hub. Okay? Any other one? Dubawa, yes. Dubawa is there. Eh? Data fight. Data fight. Data fight. Any other one? Snoops. Snoop. Say. Snops. Is Snops? S-C-O-P. Is that the one you're calling? S-N-O-P. Yes. Snops. Yes. S-N-O-P. That's an American one. Okay. Dubawa and Africa Check are very much Nigerian, right? And well, if you don't know about them, please just write them down. Crowdsourcing some of this information so we can all give more. Okay? Any other person with anyone else? Who knows? Sir?
Fact check election.
Fact check election. So that one is dedicated to election issues. Is Nigerian? Is Nigerian. Okay. Any other one? It's still not showing. Just conclude this. Okay, there's something from Google, right? If you go to toolbox.google.com and go to fact check, you'll see a tool from Google that can actually help with fact checking. I was going to show you that on the browser. In that you can actually see, if you can actually check like the other sites, you can check the recent search that people have carried out, and you can actually type in a word there and see what have been verified as false or true, and you actually see the mark on them. False information that have come in and either they are false or true. With Africa Check and Dubawa, I think you can actually submit topics that you want them to fact check for you. So if you want to go beyond your own knowledge and you want to get from that kind of authoritative channel, authoritative source, you can actually submit a topic there. But if you look at it, you will see many of the ones that the example I wanted to show you. You actually see many of the Nigerian stories that came up during the elections. Those things you saw, those pictures you saw online. I give you one example, two examples actually. One was the vice president elect right now. There's a photo of him that trended one time very well. Him sitting down and eating with bandits, right? Two people and him, and they said he's actually eating with bandits. False, right? It's easy to actually create those things. Okay. There was also one that showed Peter Obi sitting down with Hero beer in front of him. False, because those are actually made of photos, and those ones are not really deep, right? If you just look at the photo, you can easily tell that somebody cropped someone's head and put it there, and I can actually do those things with Photoshop. And then you hear many stories, like many false stories, which I did give example at the beginning, but I could have. It's like the one on COVID. First of all, the one on monkeypox. There was a news that went around about monkeypox, that the US actually is the one who is spreading it in Nigeria. And if you go through that story and check it and get to the source of it, you discover it's state actors, right? State actors are another country who is rival to the US actually promoted that in Nigeria. And that's what you see with this information. It's so that people can gain for their geopolitical gain, right? That's what you see. Are we good? It's still not working there. So it's not just my own computer. Okay, so I'm sure they didn't blow my own computer in any way. So other tools. There's one tool called Harmony Square. How many of us have heard about Harmony Square? You have heard about a lot of things. Harmony Square is supported by the US government. It's a game, actually. One of the things I like so much, and I like education. I like tech in education. And I like gamification of education. So you now take the concepts of gaming and put them into learning. Let me tell you why that intrigues me so much. My children, I have two boys, right? 11 and 9, just on 9. And I don't look like I have kids. The way you looked at me. Okay. They play games. And these are people that, if I leave them morning till night, they can be playing games. And the same people, you can go to school and the teacher will say, this person is not concentrating. This person is not focusing. So there's something in gaming that holds attention, that education, brick and mortar walls, is so boring. And you take those ideas and put it into learning. You can actually make learning wild, very intriguing, very exciting, and to hold people's attention. You even like it better, right? So it's the idea of gaming, where they play the game and put it into learning. So as you are playing the game, you are learning. And I allow my kids play Minecraft a lot, Roblox, because there's a lot of creativity that comes. There are some people that are hard against Minecraft, but there's a lot of creativity in it, right? And they build things. They've actually programmed in Minecraft. Like build a game in Minecraft themselves to play. So imagine those kind of things, and you can build them. And people actually take that concept of like Minecraft and put it into farmcraft, where you now create a virtual world for farming, and you put all the scenarios there, which you can actually learn from. So the same thing, they took fact checking. I said, oh, that one that excites me to tell you about Harmony Square, right? Harmony Square is a game you play to learn about misinformation and disinformation, and all the tricks that people play to deceive. So as you're playing the game, is that my own? All right, so you can see fundamentals, 12 lessons on that, verification, 7 lessons on that, safety and security. There is a class also I've done for journalists last year and 2 years ago about cybersecurity, and I'm sure, I think I heard him say something about that. So you should be able to learn how to protect yourself and the tools to use so that you are not exposed when you are doing investigative journalism. Some of that you'll find here, how to use strong passwords, how to use a two-step verification, how to use tools like Tor when you are going on sites that you don't want to leave any footprints behind. You know about Tor, right? The browser? Yeah, that on your sites. Some of those tools would help you a lot. Understanding how passwords are formed, and some people use passwords that, even me that I'm not a hacker, it's easy to crack. Or pins, if you use pins, if you use a 4-digit pin, it just takes 1,000 search and you already can find your pin. No matter how much numbers you combine, once it's numbers and there are 4, it's like opening a box, a safe that has just 3 or 4 numbers you roll. If you start from 000 and continue, you actually exhaust them in no time. So no matter what number combination you give, go through 1,000 combinations, you have opened your box. All right, so those kind of sense can help you understand how to form strong passwords. You now use what we call passphrase instead of passwords, and mix uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers, and you can be safe. Then you add on top of that two-step verification on your phone. So if I'm going to hack your account, I have to kill you and carry your phone, and then know your password after you are already there. those kind of things become a little more difficult. But it's still possible because I have seen where our account is well secure and our password is very strong, and I still got a request for two-step verification. That means somebody actually opened the embassy's account, which they attempted to hack, and I got a two-step verification. Means the person got the password. So I went through other means to make it stronger and keep it secure. And no, you can't hack me. I've gone too far for that.
Thank you very much. You've actually talked about the essence of misinformation. So I have a lot of things that I want to add, okay? And for me, when I'm dealing with issues, I like to think different in the sense that here we are all in the urban area and we are all accepting technology and all of that in regards to our journalism. But I would like to think for the people that don't have technology, and these guys are the first carriers of misheard information. So let's talk about the people in the grassroots region. You know how information spreads in local areas. Now, how do you protect them? Because sometimes they don't have access to what we have, and they don't even know how to go about it. It goes in hierarchy. For example, imagine an old woman just spreads an information. I have a Barry don't die, and the next thing someone else carry, Barry don't die, and the next thing you know, even we that are living in the urban areas, there are some people that are traditional in the same urban areas, they still carry this information because they are not given to knowledge and they are not given to technology. So does misinformation start with the press? Yeah, does it start with the press? And then how do you, now in this case, now let's talk about human intelligence and artificial intelligence. I'm trying to deal with a human angle from the local level. How do you reach them? I understand we are all journalists, but let's think outside the box. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Sorry, the name please.
Dakore.
Dakore.
Yeah.
Okay. So Joseph.
Just
A follow-up before I talk.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Now, my concern has not been the tech, which is actually just, like you said, what you put in is what you get. My point as a journalist is, what do we do to mitigate against writing content that will be susceptible to misinformation?
What do you do to?
How do you, your content, that thing that helps you control your content, so you don't misinform, malinform, or disinform?
Okay, some of the tools I shared and some of the things I hearing about tools pointed out, like verification, like fact checking, actually help you. I'm answering him first before I come to you. Actually help you to produce content that is reliable and that people can trust. Because in the end, disinformation is an attempt to erode trust in the media, trust in the government, trust in institutions, right? So if you are going to write a story, then you should make sure that your facts are correct by going to check them out, not just hear that Buhari ate Eba last night and were you in the room there? And you said the Eba was not sweet. How did you know? Now verify that, right? And there are tools that will help you do that. They're going to use a photo. And I've seen that a lot. I actually was going to show you a story here. Do I still have it open? I think it's this story. But in talking about these elections, they talked about Obama's video instead of a video from the State Department as foreign, contributions or foreign governments speaking about Nigeria election. Obama video was 2019, right? Obama has not been president. In 2019 or 2015, actually, 2015, and the report actually said all that was said there about the U.S. government speaking about Nigerian elections was all taken from the Obama video. Many years passed, and I was wondering, did you guys actually research, or you just found out, oh, President Obama said something about, because people shared that video when the elections were on. They didn't do their findings. Okay, I'm being told that my time is up. So you do your findings, right? You use data, right? You use the resources that we are sharing to make sure you can produce content that is trustworthy. And the more content you produce that is trustworthy, the more people begin to trust you, right? But if you are sharing stories that we have to take with a pinch of salt, 1, 2, 3, next time when you publish another one, we'll just not even put any salt there at all. And then, hold on, sir. And then for you, grassroots, right? People who are not tech savvy, How do you reach them? How are you reaching them with your news currently, right? And I may not have said this clearly, but one of the ways to fight disinformation is education. You don't wait for people to be told a lie before you try to correct it. So from the start, you help them understand how lies are told. That's why we're explaining about disinformation. And that's why there's a game like Harmony Square. So you know how these people are telling their lies and fabricating things and twisting the truth. And in that way, when you see one, you are able to recognize it. So I would say for those people in the grassroots level, instead of even, first of all, thinking of how to tell them that the news is false, tell them that there is misinformation and there is disinformation. Tell them how to recognize those things. Tell them where they can trust, who they can trust. WhatsApp is everywhere. I didn't mention that, but there's a lot of false information going around on WhatsApp. And the platforms have endeavored to put checks there. Like on WhatsApp, when you forward an information, it's written forwarded, and you can't forward more than 4 or 5 times, right? The same information to groups. But people are still able to spread those things. Now, if you educate people, it will help better than actually trying to tell them that what they know is wrong, because you now get what we call, what I told you, like facing a wild animal. You are now ready to resist. You're now ready to flee because you already have a bias. They have told you that this thing is because you are black, that's why it's like that, when it's not actually true. Okay, education is important besides fact-checking and writing authentic stories. So how will you combat disinformation and misinformation on those platforms? First again, and I'll hold on to this always, education. If people know how these things come about, where they come from, then there will be less of targets, rather than have them corrupted and then you are trying to solve the problem. Okay, so you use the platforms to not only give the authentic news, but also help people understand how fake news comes about. Train them, teach them, show them. Don't just let's just say it's an add-on you have to your core business of spreading disseminating news, right? Add some education to it for your audience. And there's a lot of things I've said today that does not have to do with our class. They are just a bit of more information that will help you. And some people have thought, oh, I said ChatGPT, she's using it to write story, it can help me. Now, those of you who never even tried ChatGPT will go and sign up now. Add on. It will always help. Thank you. I hope you learned something.
And we can be denying the fact that social media is either a blessing or a curse, like we all say. But we can make a difference by making positive use of the tool rather than negative use of it. And the fastest way to get to the public is through you. Whatever you write, whatever you say, the public tends to believe. Why? Because they feel you must have done all your due diligence before dishing out something. So we wouldn't want us to be the ones dishing out the wrong things because of the trust that the public has in us. I am a journalist as well. Of course, if I'm not a journalist, I won't be a public affairs specialist. I was a broadcaster at some point and had to go into full-time public relations. And so I know what it means for the public to rely on you. And I know that all the faces I'm seeing here today, I've not seen one that will tell me that, yeah, I will do fake news just for me to propagate my interest. But rather, I will say the truth, irrespective of who is hurt. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that this class has, participants cutting across all the genre that we have in the media, the online, the offline, the electronic and all that, and the prints and all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing impressive reports from you, because there'll be a follow-up on all these things. We're not just going to sponsor a training and sit back. That's why we have all your handles and your phone numbers, just for a follow-up, And since we have all that, we have events at the office and all that, we can always reach out to any one of you, each and every one of you, to be part of it. So thank you so much for, relaxing. This is the first time I'm moderating a training, and people will go on break after the meal and come back again. please, a round of applause for all of you. Yeah, you guys just show that yes, you're actually out, and you guys, are filled with integrity.